Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, yeah. Old dirty Kana boy. Your day is coming. Your day is coming. Whoa, yeah. Old dirty Kana boy. Your day is coming. Your day is coming. Slapping away granny and pitney with impunity, like you are God Almighty. But that's not so. Oh no. I hope when your time comes, they show you no pity. Murder you just like you murder people on the street every day. Old dirty Kana boy. Your day is coming. Your day is coming. Whoa, yeah. Old dirty Kana boy. Your day is coming. Your day is coming.
Ring the alarm, another youth gone. Open up the scriptures, make we chant another psalm. Them dirty boy and not come. Them a worship fire. Killing all the baby we just born. Another song of tribulation. I come to sing too much bloodshed. Bloodshed on the rhythm. Them glorifying the gun thing. I teach the youth them gun sling. See another bother balling. We are one them.
Old dirty Kana boy. Your day is coming.
On the spot, news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype. We make it take flight.
Yeah man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on. A blessed and wonderful Thursday morning to each and every person out there tuning in to On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, you don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in a Jamaica. Yeah man, may I tell you. So another one never eat to the warning and end up get the can in. Yeah man, the old dirty Kana boy Desroy Walker, but more popularly known in the criminal underworld as Shamar, met his demise courtesy of yours truly, Officer Yeman Pick and Team. Yeah man. Now I want to take a quick look on the screen there for me and tell me exactly where this is. This is the agriculture school over there in the parish of Portland, where Officer Yeman Pick and Team went, was taught, and they learned how to plan can in a dirty boy tumok. Yeah man. So for those who decide say them not gonna heed to the warning, the end result will be you gonna get the can in. So the main suspect in the most recent knockings and clappings over there in a part of Rema known as Buckers, the old dirty Kana boy Desroy Walker aka Shamar was cut down. Which part them go find Shamar? Way over there in Burn Savannah in the parish of St. Elizabeth. Me telling you this already, you know. I'm gonna continuously say it again until you know understand. Residents of St. Elizabeth, stop harbor the criminal elements them from all over Jamaica in a nice rural parish. Stop harbor them, because all you are doing is aiding and abetting to your own demise. We just glad say Officer Yeman Pick and team could have come down there and deal with the situation a certain type of way, and only Desroy Walker aka Shamar was taken out. Now, sometime between the hours of 5 and 5:45 a.m., officers from the Counter-Terrorism Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTAC, that are of course Officer Yeman Pick and team, and also with the assistance of police officers from the St. Elizabeth Police Division, carried out a special operation in search of a person of interest in the November 2nd incident that claimed the life of 2 persons and serious injury to 5 over there in Boca's Rema. Now, during the breach, the suspect in the burnt Savannah area, which is Desroy Walker, allegedly did what most times criminal elements do in a bit to escape. Pointed a firearm in the direction of Officer Yeman Pick and team. And you know, once the officers see gun, they have to do due diligence, which is to take evasive action to protect themselves and the lives of their colleagues, and fired several rounds in the direction of the now deceased. It is said that the team opened fire, hitting Desroy Walker all over the upper body. Yeah, man. The police stated that a Smith & Wesson pistol with a magazine containing 8 live 9mm rounds was retrieved from the wounded man. The suspect was taken to the hospital where, of course, he was pronounced, you know what? Remember what the Commissioner of Police clearly stated, that his police officers aren't trained for knock it and clap it on your limbs. They are trained for knock it and clap it at center mass, meaning your upper torso. So right in your chest plate, that's so down to your abdomen. That's so the man them train for plan can. Yeah, man. So we're going to hear from acting superintendent, the man who in charge of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, as he warned criminals that his officers will be going after them, going after their gangs, their guns, and definitely warning the residents not to harbor them, and to make the criminal elements know that, hey, St. Elizabeth is no longer safe haven for you to come and hide out. Because once you forward this, Officer Yeman Pick and team are going to come get you. Yeah, man. So I could hear from the Deputy Superintendent in charge of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, Coleridge Minto. Listen.
I want to point out that this individual is wanted for several murders, multiple murders in the Kingston Western Division, and was hiding out in the St. Elizabeth space. And so I use this opportunity to warn persons that we in the division going after the guns, going after the gangs, we're going after the gunmen. And so we continue to ask our citizens to share any information they have with the police. They can share it through 119, Crime Stop 311, or the nearest police station. This was a joint operation between St. Elizabeth Police and the CTOC, Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Division. And we continue with our efforts to rid the parish of our criminal elements.
Now, as it relates to that particular incident that took place over there in the community of Rema, section known as Boca's, on the 2nd of November, for those who forgot, if you need an extensive and more concise report on everything that took place, please go over and watch this vlog presently on your screen. But I will most definitely give a brief rundown of what took place. But this vlog will definitely give you the full breakdown of everything that took place. So reports from the Kingston Western Police Division is that some men were on the streets just playing a game of dominoes sometime about 7:30 p.m. on the 2nd of November. It is said that a Toyota motor car drove up with 4 occupants that alighted from that motor vehicle and fired high-powered weapons indiscriminately. So 5 persons was conned up and seriously injured, and 2 separate from the 5 was deceased. So basically a total of 7 was fired upon by these criminal elements. 2 lost their lives and 5 seriously injured. The 2 men that lost their lives is this criminal element here presently on your screen, identified as Desroy Mackenzie, but more popularly known in the streets as Nico. It is said that he was one of the intended targets. Another man said to be an innocent casualty of war, identified as 34-year-old Romain Moraj, otherwise known as Coolie in the streets. But it is said that he may also be a target of that brutal knockings and clappings, as even though he was innocent, he has family members involved in the war who is said to be of questionable character. A child was also among the 5 that was seriously conned up and injured. So anyway, my peeps, make we move on. Now, we're going to talk about a case in point. A case where definitely bring the entire Jamaica to tears. Right across the length and breadth of Jamaica. And even also in the diaspora. When we heard that a 10-month-old child and their mother was brutally slaughtered and burned. Yeah, man. That rocked the entire Jamaica. And what was even worse, the female that plotted the whole thing has a child of her own. And all of this is basically out of shared jealousy, shared envy. We're talking about the brutal slaying of Soraya Palwell, the daughter of MP Philip Palwell, and her mother, identified as Tashina Pattison. Now, as it relates to the main suspects in that brutal slaying of the mother and child, are as follows. Yours truly on your screen, Leoda Bradshaw. Also the baby mother of Philip Palwell and her co-accused, Rushane Miller and Richard Brown. So far, Rushane Miller and Richard Brown has confessed to the knockings and clappings that resulted in the loss of life of these 2 innocent persons. Now, as it relates to this criminal element here presently on your screen, identified as Richard Brown, who confessed to be the one that took the life of Tashina Pattison and her 10-month-old child, Soraya Palwell. Yesterday, after he got sentenced, he issued an apology, a written apology, to the bereaved families of Tashina Pattison and her 10-month-old child Soraya Palwell for the role that he played in their deaths. It is said that Richard Brown drove the vehicle that took Miss Pattison and Soraya from Stony Hill, St. Andrew, to the location in East Kingston where they were brutally taken out on September 9th. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison on Wednesday, which is yesterday, in the Home Circuit Court by Senior Puny Judge Lorna Shelley Williams. He'll serve a maximum of 20 years before being eligible for parole. It is said that Brown gave his attorney a handwritten apology to read on his behalf. So we're going to hear the words of Brown through the mouth of his attorney. Listen.
He says, I just want to do the right thing. I want my lawyer to tell the family of the baby and mother and the Jamaican public that I am very sorry for the loss of their lives. I want my lawyer to also tell my mentor that I'm very sorry for the disappointment. I hope one day everyone will find it possible to forgive me, and he signs his name to it.
So on October 26, Richard Brown entered a plea deal with the state after confessing to 2 counts of kidnapping and 2 counts of loss of life. For the loss of life offenses, he was sentenced to 30 years at hard labor on each count. He also received 22 months sentencing at hard labor for the kidnapping. It is said that the sentences will run concurrently, which means he'll only serve the maximum of 30 years behind bars. But 20 years he will be eligible for parole. Now, we could just talk about that real quick before we get into more stuff. I really don't understand why these judges continue to use this concurrently sentence. What is the purpose of giving him 30 years for the loss of life of Soraya Paulwell and their mother Tashana Pattison? So he got 30 years for both persons' lives that was lost. So basically that is 60 years in total for the 2 loss of life and 22 months for the kidnapping. But the judge says they are to run concurrently. So concurrently simply means that the biggest number, that is what stands, and only that, which is the 30 year. Why didn't the judge say run the sentences concurrently? Now that would make absolute sense. It's a baby that life was taken, was cut short prematurely, and their mother, for no apparent reason. There was no aggravation on their part. Total innocence. This type of sentence to me is a spit in the faces of the bereaved family members. Literally. 30 years for 2 persons' life. Because of that it really boiled down to, even though he got 2 30-year sentences and 2 22 months sentences, the fact that they are running concurrently, it didn't even make sense for the judge to give him 2 30-year sentences, if that will be the outcome. Just say go serve 30 years and call it a day. What I really need to know, my peeps, and I really need to definitely go do my research under what circumstances can the judge say the sentences are to run consecutive versus concurrently. I really need to do some research on that and try to get a better understanding of how and why the judges operates a certain type of way. Now, basically a day after Richard Brown confessed, Rushane Miller also confessed. So basically he followed suit by cutting a plea deal with the state. Now Rushane Miller, who is 29 years of age, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of conspiracy to kidnapping and also 2 counts of accessory before the fact to the knockings and clappings that resulted in the loss of life of the baby and their mother, and 1 count of misprison, a felony. For his involvement, he was sentenced to 7 years and 10 months at hard labor. Now that is not even one spitting at the people in face. A whole heap of spit that. Yeah man, face wet and a drip. Disrespect. Yeah man, to the highest level. 7 years for accessory before the fact. You know what accessory before the fact means? So them sit down and plan out this thing. He had his hand in it right through and through. So as a grown man, I'm pretty sure he was pretty much cognizant of what he was doing and about to do and got himself into doing. He knew everything from the get-go. So he is just as guilty as the person that pumped those bullets in the child and their mother and then lit them ablaze. Yeah, man. And to give him only 7 years and 10 months is another spit in the face of John Public. But let me watch and see where I go on. Because for him to get 7 years, 10 months, he must sign some document to say that he's willing to be the crown witness against Leoda Bradshaw when her case is brought before the courts. If she not get smart like them and just go plead guilty and get a cowboy sentence and call it a day. Now the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, that's Paula Llewellyn, says that Miller, that's Rushane Miller, participated in the planning of the knockings and clappings. However, there was no evidentiary material that Miller was at the scene on the day of the kidnapping and the loss of life. So I guess that's why the judge not give him a whole heap of sentence. But still, he helped to plan the kidnapping and the knockings and clappings. So the DPP continued to say that neither was there any evidentiary material to show that he participated in the actual act. Now, Patterson and their baby Soraya were reportedly taken to Warwicker Hills, where they was conned up, lost their lives and their bodies burnt. Soraya, as I stated earlier, was the daughter of the MP for East Kingston and Port Royal, Philip Palwell. How ironic then carry the pitney and the mother go take them life in a demand constituency. The alleged mastermind behind the gruesome act is Leoda Bradshaw, which I stated earlier also that she is a child with Philip Palwell. She's facing 8 charges, including capital murder and kidnapping. Now, for the execution of the plan, Bradshaw allegedly paid the men $100,000 initially, and the balance of $400,000 was to be paid after the completion of the knockings and clappings. So her cousin, Rolanda Balfour, is charged with 2 counts of accessory before the fact to the kidnapping and 2 counts of accessory after the fact to the murder. Bradshaw and Balfour are to return to court in just over 2 weeks. That's basically December 1st to answer to the charges preferred against them. So my peeps, I will continue to keep a close eye on this case and update you in subsequent newscast. Yeah, man. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.